Okay, Andy. Good morning, everyone. So, online students, can you hear my voice? Say yes or no to me once. Right, right. So, the last class we done unchecked exceptions. Anyway, exceptions are categorized into two types: checked exceptions and unchecked exceptions. The exceptions which are not identified by the compiler will be raised at execution stage are known as unchecked exceptions. These unchecked exceptions also two types available to you: predefined unchecked and where is this? Predefined unchecked and user defined unchecked. Here one program is there for you with a diagram, and I asked you to do one assignment also here. This assignment validating the marks. I only written no. Assignment is this is validating the withdraw. Anyway, I'll write a solution. How many of you tried this? Raise your hands. If anybody tried, good. Now go back. So we are concentrating on unchecked. Unchecked over. We are concentrating on checked. For unchecked, I given a user defined process here, and today's class is checked. I want to do both at a time. Checked two flavors are there. I want to do in a single session. Let me complete that. The exceptions which are identified by the compiler and raised at compilation stage are known as checked exceptions or compile time exceptions. You can say checked exceptions or compile time exceptions. You can say these checked exceptions are categorized into two types: predefined checked exceptions and user defined checked exceptions. The checked exceptions which are ready constructed and available from library are known as predefined checked exceptions. These are the examples anyway. Today I want to write a program on this checked and moreover predefined. For this, I am taking one method. Predefined checked exceptions means they will come from library. How they will come from library means you can find them attached with the methods. You can find them. For that, I am using define for name method. Write it. Define for name method. I am bringing. For name method is from java.lang.class. For name method is from java.lang.class. For name method is from java.lang.class. And which is used to load the class at runtime or execution time. Runtime or execution time, which is used to load the class at runtime and execution time. runtime or execution time, you can say. The meaning, using for name method, we can load the class at execution where the class is not available at compile time. Here, comma, where the class is not available at compilation stage. Not available at compilation stage, where the class is not available at compilation stage. The meaning is the class not available to compiler directly will come to execution. That's the meaning of it. So not known to compiler, directly it comes to execution if you use for name method. That's the meaning of it. The dot class file is going to be loaded at runtime with the support of it. I'll read complete paragraph 1. For name method is from java.lang.class and which is used to load the class at runtime or execution time, where the class is not available at compilation stage. Means class not available to compiler but comes for execution. It's a meaning. Method signature. Method signature of for name. Method signature of for name. Right. Look here. This for name method available from class now. So in the class, I'll open it. Java P java.lang.class. Here for name method available 1, 2, 3. More than one method with the same name, difference in their parameter list. We call it as overloading or overriding. Overloading. So for name is a overloaded method. You can take one method which is having string parameter. Right. Write this method. Right. So here first time throws keyword came now. Right. To show this only we took this method. Sir, first time one throws keyword came. Return type is class. So public static class. Can you see this method? Right. Like this. This is. Finally, the method added with one throws keyword. Here. Sir, I know public. Public means access within the project. Access within the project. So static means class level. For name method return type is class. So this is return type. This is generic. Question mark means any type. We call it as generic. Generic type means any type. Generic form indirectly. On generic form. So for name can return any type of class. This is method. Method name this is. This is parameter. Sir, up to here it is okay. This is the new thing. Today only you are seeing the first time here. Now here throws. Right. Sir, throws means what? Throws means ignore the exception in current method. Ignore means leave in this method. In this method, don't catch it. Leave it. That's called ignore. What is the English meaning of ignore? Leaving, not considering. Ignore exception in current method and raise at method call. Means exception must be raised at a method call. Write that explanation totally. Ignore exception in current method. Ignore exception in current method and raise at method call. Means exception is raised at method call. Exception is raised at method call. In interview, they'll ask throws. Throws means ignore the exception in current method and raise it method call. That's the meaning of it. All of you written this method form, all of you, right? Because your advanced Java trainer will ask the question. Do you know advanced Java? They'll ask it. Sorry, exceptionally they'll ask it. Because whenever you open the libraries, all throws keywords will be there. So whether you know them or not, he'll ask a question. That's the meaning behind it. Throws means raise exception at method call. Right. Now look here. Syntax. Syntax means writing in your program anyway. Syntax. See there. Now this method is static method or non-static method? Static. Static you have to call with class name or object name? Class name. For name, class name is what now? Class. Class itself is a class. So you can call it as class dot for name. You can cast. With parameter, without parameter? With parameter. What type of parameter now? String. Now return type or non-return type? Return type, because void not there here. What is the return type here now? Class. So finally, sir, because of static keyword, we call with the class name. Class dot for name and with parameter, that string as parameter. Return type. The return type is class only. Return type is class. One variable like this. Sir, here string what means here? Class name. Sir, which class name means? The class you are going to load. Class name of class to be loaded. Now, for easiness, I am writing. Which class you want to load, that class name you have to give it. For name method will load that class here when the execution started. It's a meaning, right? Write that syntax. Class name of class to be loaded. Right. Now, here note, NOT note. Look here. This throws keyword I am writing. Throws keyword with method signature specify to ignore the exception in current method and raise it method call. The same thing I am repeating. Okay, right. Make it throws keyword with method signature will specify to ignore the ignore the exception in current method and raise at method call. Throws keyword with method signature will specify to ignore the exception in current method and raise at method call. When exception raised at method call, when exception raised at method call. So throws keyword is saying that raise the exception method call, fine. When exception raised at method call, then method call, then the compiler will identify the exception. Identify the exception and which is known as compile time exception, or you can say checked exception, you can say. When exception raised at method call, then the compiler will identify the exception and which is known as compile time exception or checked exception. When it is raised, the compiler will identify. When compiler identifies, it is a compile time only. Somebody is asking this question mark. I written no comment here. What is the comment here now? Generic. Generic means any type. Suppose I given one empty bottle to you. What you will do? Sir, I can put one water to empty bottle. I can put some oil to empty bottle. And I can put one cool drink to empty bottle. I can fill anything. So filling anything is a generic. That's the concept. Generic medicines, you can see the medical shops now. Generic medicine. Generic means side effect is very less. The meaning. That only. Generic. It can written any type. It's called generic. The generic will come before collection framework. It will come. Right. So when exception raised at method call, then the compiler will identify. Let me cross check here. See there. Example. Suppose I had two packages like this. Two packages, P1 and P2. P1 package and P2 package. Under P1, display class is there. Demo exception to, I think. Main class. Here one method is there. Void display. Here main method is there. Point. I must not write import. I must not write import. If I write import while I'm compiling the main class, display class also available for compiler. Compiler will see that class. If import is that, the compiler will see that class. I will not write import. Compiler will not see. But the class should come at runtime. Means when the execution started, the class should come. If I write import, compiler will see. If I don't write import, compiler will not see display. While compiling the demo exception 2, display 2 is not available to compiler. Right, see there. This is 7:15. 9 o'clock. Exception handling process under P1. I am taking one class that is display. The display class is having one method. Roughly some K. This is one display class under P1. Under P2, I am writing demo exception 3. I am writing. Demo exception 3. Right. Right. Here I'll create object. Display D is equal to new display error. Why error means display not available to compiler. Display cannot be resolved to a type. I don't know what is this display. Compiler is saying that display is not available to me. I don't know display. Suppose if I write import p1.display, then compiler says okay. Why okay? Under P1, display is there. Compiler will go to P1 and check it and come out. That's called import will make a class available at the compilation stage. But I don't want the class available at compilation stage. Now this is error because display is not available. But I want to load it. I want to load the class. See there. How I load it now? Class dot for name of which class you want to load it now? Display. But you must say where it is available also you must say. Where it is available you must say. I use a syntax correct only. This return type is class C. Means class related one reference created. The reference will hold the loading link of p1.display. But why red line, sir? Red line is not error. It is exception. Unhandled exception type. Unhandled exception type class not found exception. It is showing one exception or not now? Compiler is showing one exception. Means compiler understanding exception. Means the exception is compile time. The exception is your checked exception. Why exception is shown there? Because I used to throws keyword in the method. When the throws keyword available, exception is raised at method call. All of you understood this, right? Then how to handle it, sir? Write one try and catch. You can use the exception name is what now? Class not found exception. Suppose CNFE dot print stack trace. Now that display class available in the double quotes now. Display class not available to compiler. When the execution started, display class will come. That's the meaning of that statement. Okay, sir, display class is coming. Now create object. Display D is equal to new display. Again error. Then you must make a statement here. New keyword cannot create object for a class loaded at runtime, which means new keyword will create object for the classes available at compile time. If a class available at compile time, object will come. If not, you cannot create object. Make a statement. Here down. How will make it now? Disadvantage of new keyword. New keyword will create object for the classes. No, new keyword will not create object for the classes loaded at runtime or execution time. New keyword will not create object for the classes loaded at runtime or execution time. That's a drawback of your new keyword. It will not create object for the classes loaded at runtime or execution time, which means new keyword will create object for the classes available at compilation stage. If they are available at compilation stage, then new keyword will create object, unless it cannot create object. That's the meaning of that statement. Then how, sir? Sir, how to create object for the class loaded at runtime now? See there. If a class coming at runtime, to create object, we had one more method. Method is, can you see the method new instance method? Can you see? New instance method. Make a statement here. We use New instance method from java.lang.class. We use new instance method from java.lang.class to create object for the classes loaded at runtime or execution time. We use new instance method from java.lang.class to create object for the classes loaded at runtime or execution time. So new keyword cannot create object for the class loaded at runtime, but one more method is coming forward to create object known as a new instance method. Method signature of new instance. Method signature of new instance. Right. Just I'm highlighting throws keyword. Can you see throws here? Write it. Return type is T. T means generic again. Write that method signature where throws keyword is there. Right. Here, sir, T means what? Generic type only. Any type. T means type. New instance method can create object of any type. Throws followed by how many exceptions are there now? Two exceptions. One is instantiation exception. One is illegal access exception, comma. Means if I call this method, it raises two exceptions at a method call. See there. This method is non-static method. Non-static method available from class. You have to access with class object C like this. Now C dot new instance. Sir, that strikeout mark means deprecated, marked for removal. In the coming versions, new instance method is going to be removed. That only one warning. Of course, two exceptions came: unhandled exception type instantiation exception, unhandled exception type illegal access exception. Okay, right. Now, the method new instance from the type class is deprecated since version 9 means deprecation means removal, marked for removal meaning. Now, equal to, it has to return the T type now. Return type is T or not now. So T is a generic form. Generic form means you cannot write T there, error will come. So in the place of T, what you want? Sir, I want object of display. I want object of display. Then convert into display now. P1 dot display. You can convert. Now this is the pattern means T is converted into display. Here two exceptions are there. Handle it. Write catch blocks. Catch instantiation exception. Catch illegal access exception. Instantiation exception. Illegal access. Illegal access exception. Now, here object is created. Actually, what happened is here. I'll draw it anyway. OB dot display. OB dot display of 120. Here some warnings are coming. No, to remove the warning, you must use annotation. No, yes or no? Na? Click on it. Add raw types. You can add for variable. You can add for method. Two options are there. I'll add for the method. Raw type. Here one more is deprecation. This is the warning's gone. If I run it, I'll get the answer. So the information is the class which is not available to compiler can be loaded at runtime by using for name method. That's the meaning. So class not available to compiler, but can be loaded at runtime. That's the meaning of it. Okay, right. So this is the program under for name. Under my intention is not for name. My intention is throws keyword. Observe this point now, right? So to introduce throws keyword, I am introducing one concept also. A class not only without making it available to compiler, you can load at runtime. There is also one concept by using this method. Okay. Here that program will be pasted. Once program. Example program. Here P1, I took display.java. Under P2, I took demo exception3.java. This is main class. All of you understood this? Right. All of you understood throws keyword first? All of you. What is throws now? Sir, throws keyword always available with method signature. If any throws keyword available with method signature, the information is ignore the exception in that method and raise it method call. That's the meaning of it. In a conceptual summary here, make one statement. The class which is not available to compiler at compilation stage can be loaded at execution stage using for name method. That's the total overall. The class which is not available to compiler at compilation stage can be loaded at execution stage using for name method. Right. All of you understood this? Right. Now, why don't you raise your user defined checked exception? User defined means we only should define and raise. Checked exception means we are going to add throws keyword to user defined method. That's only meaning. Make it. The checked exceptions which are defined and raised by the programmer. The checked exceptions which are defined and raised by the programmer are known as user defined checked exceptions. User defined checked exceptions. The checked exceptions which are defined and raised by the programmer are known as user defined checked exceptions. Right. We use the following two steps to define and raise user defined checked exceptions. Step 1. user defined method signature is added with throws keyword to ignore the exception in current method and raise it method call. User defined method signature is added with throws keyword to ignore the exception in current method and raise it method call. Step 2. Declare throw keyword in catch block. Declare throw keyword in catch block and perform rethrowing process. And perform rethrowing process. Declare throw keyword in catch block and perform rethrowing process. Right. Now look here. Now to explain these two steps, I'll write one example program. Right. Known program. In the starting I written no greatest of two numbers. I written many times anyway. Starting I written if any one value is 0, return 0, something I think. Correct only. If any one value is negative, return -1 or -2, something is there. I'll write -1. Okay, right. If both are positive, you compare it. Okay, right. Maybe -1, -2, I think. I cannot remember that. I'll do some value here. Okay, right. See that. I'll take one class. Greater class, I will take it. Here, void greater. Public, like this. Now construct this program normally. Here two values are there anyway. Right. Here the answer should come. First construct the normal exception handling process. Here extends from exception. Declare one parameterized constructor of string as parameter. Super of message. Declare all statements in try catch. End of try. So inside this we are writing the condition. Okay, right. exception condition. If x value less than 0 or y value less than 0, anyone means this is exception condition. Here, if x value less than equal to 0 or y value equal to 0. Okay, right. Two condition of this also exception condition. If these two exceptions are not there, if x is greater than y, system dot out dot, because that is void method, no, we are not returning the value. A greater value is x. Else greater value is y. All have understood this logic? Because it's a void method, I am displaying here only. Suppose this exception comes. You have to create object for user defined class. You have to create object. What is the user defined class here now? Greater. So greater some gt is equal to new greater of double quotes message negative value, no, right? So negative values, you can understand, no, right? Negative values. Here I must use throw keyword, no? Yes or no? Na? Throw gt, I can write. Here also exception coming from same class. Greater gt is equal to new greater equal means values equal to 0. Some 0 value entered, anyone. Okay, right. Again here what now? Throw gt. Right. Now the exception will come to catch. What is the exception name here now? Greater. You can write greater gt. You can write. Up to here you know. Yes or no now? Now 2 steps you have to add it. Then it becomes a checked exception. What is the first step now? Method signature added with throws keyword here. Throws. That throws keyword followed by one exception name. Here exception name is the class name, no? Yes or no? Na? What is the class name here now? Greater. So throws greater. You must write. Now this exception is throwing from here to catch block. Again you throw it by writing a throw keyword. Throw gt. This only exception rethrowing. Exception rethrowing. Rethrowing means already thrown from here to catch. From here again you are throwing. That's called rethrowing. Why we are rethrowing means exception should come to method call. You're throwing. Right. That only 2 steps. Declare throw keyword in catch block and perform rethrowing process. I'll explain with the diagram. Then the clarity will come. Now here warning is coming, here. So click on it. Add suppress. Now the subclass is ready. What you observed here now? Sir, fourth program we are writing with subclass. Up now we written only main classes we written. Up now we not written the subclasses. Point like this. Now go to main class. In the main class, demo exception 4. Class demo exception 4. Import java.util. Java.util. Here also exception will be there. Exception, no user defined exception, only built-in exception is there. Okay. I'll use scanner s is equal to new scanner of system.in. Try. Now, first I'll show the exception. You must know no exception coming here, you must know. How exception is raised. I'm going to show. Now import that class. Import p1 dot greater. Import means available to compiler. So meaning here. System dot out dot println, enter the value 1. Int v1 is equal to s dot next int. If not, raise number format. Integer dot parseInt s dot next line. Why I am writing integer dot parseInt here, since exception handling means anywhere attending advanced Java, chapter number 2 is there. There the data will come from HTML forms. The HTML form data will come in the form of strings. The strings you have to convert into numerics. There will use parse method. So number format exception only will come. Input mismatch exception will not come. So I am not using input mismatch. I am writing only number format. The value 2. Here v2, we had it. After reading this v1 and v2, we must find the greater value. No, whenever you want to find the greater value, you must create object for this greater. Right. Create object for greater. Greater ob equal to new greater. So whenever I create object, error is coming. Why error is coming means this is constructor call. This constructor call is 0 parameter constructor call. But here 0 parameter constructor not available. No. What constructor is there now? Parameterized constructor is there. Default constructor will come or will not come? Default. Do you remember default constructor? What is default constructor? The constructor without, I given a definition or not given a? Given or not given a? I also will get a doubt. Student not speaking means. Sorry, give also, don't give also. We never speak, sir. You don't worry, sir. And not given or what? the constructor without parameters added by the compiler at compilation stage is known as a default constructor. But you must know when it comes. In what situation default constructor is added? When we declare class without any constructors, then the compiler at compilation stage will add a default constructor. For this, default constructor will not come because already parameterized constructor is there. If constructors are not available, then default will come. So here default constructor not available. Here error is coming. So 0 parameter constructor not there. I'll pass empty message here. This is called empty message. So this also constructor call only. I am calling this constructor. And I am passing empty message. The reason it is not exception handling object, no normal object. So once object is created, see there. I'll call the method now. ob.greater of v1 and v2. Whenever I called ob.greater v1 and v2, one red line is coming. So exception is raised. Unhandled exception type greater means what? Sir, at method call, one exception is raised. When the at method call, if any exception is raised, that is checked exception or compile time exception. What is the exception name now? Greater. Greater is a predefined class, user defined class, user defined class. So it is a user defined checked exception. That's the meaning. So to handle this exception, what you have to do, sir? Write try and catch again. End of try. Declare all these statements inside this try. Then the exception will come to this catch block. Come to this catch block. What exception will come now? A greater some GT will come. That GT will come. That address will come. Right. Here, print a message. System.out.println GT dot get message. Here, and then this is your program. Now exception is in the subclass. Run it. Enter the value 1, 0, 12. Values equal to 0 means 0 values. Some message I kept it. Equal, that is. Suppose minus 12 and 12. Negative values. Suppose I entered 123, 12. Greater value is 123. Answer is coming? No, right. Message is coming, answer is coming. Exception message. If you want to know it is exception message, instead of get message, you can use toString method also. Then the class name also will come. Better 0 values, no? Sir, 0 and 12. P1 dot greater class, from there 0 values message is coming, means here 1 0 is there now. Right. Suppose 12 and 13 negative values. Class name also coming, toString method. Suppose I want to print correctly, greater value is coming. So this is the program to explain that user defined checked exception, but clarity will not be there because I use rethrowing, no? So for that I must draw the diagram and show to you, then only clarity will come. here. I used one P1. P1 I used, what is the class name I used now? Greater dot Java. Under P2 I used demo exception 4 dot Java. This is main class. Right. So this diagram tomorrow only, because here rethrowing is there. Here concept is, I'll explain bit clearly only because this is important. The exception raised in the method of subclass, but the exception is handled in main class. That's the concept here. So the exception is thrown from one method to another method. We are throwing that only rethrowing. I used a word known as rethrowing. In the rethrowing, how the address is moving on, the diagram I'll show to you very clearly. That is the last final concept for you. After that, here one assignment is there. Now here one assignment. That assignment solution tomorrow and conclusion of exception handling concept tomorrow. Okay, right. Read the notes and come. Anybody. Take a break. Saturday notes updated. Right. Thank you very much for today. I'll update these notes. Read the notes, run it and come.
ఈరోజు అనౌన్స్మెంట్ చేస్తారు
Nice. Why? That's take half an hour with
నానే నానే అన్నదాం
నానే డెసిషన్ తీసుకుంటారు సార్ కంటే ఎక్కువ
క్లాస్ లో క్లాస్ తీసుకుని దానికి మామస్ క్లాస్ ద్వారా బాడీ అసైన్మెంట్స్
నేను ఇన్నర్ క్లాస్
క్లాస్ లో ఇంటర్ క్లాస్ తీసుకుని
కాంప్లికేట్ చేస్తాను
అంటే దాంట్లో బాడీ ఏమి ఇవ్వలేదు సార్. ఈ సైడ్ అనానమస్ క్లాస్ ద్వారా బాడీ ఓవర్ హెడ్ మెథడ్ ట్రై చేస్తాం సార్.
మనీ మనీ అనేది ఇప్పుడు క్లాస్ మనీ అనేది క్లాసా
ఇన్నర్ క్లాస్ పైన అవుటర్ క్లాస్ వచ్చి ఎంఎన్ సార్, లోపల ఇన్నర్ క్లాస్ వచ్చి
ఎర్ర వస్తుంది కదండి
అంటే క్లాస్ లో ఇన్నర్ క్లాస్ కి ఓవర్ హెడ్ మెథడ్ చేయాలి.
ఇప్పుడు ఈ అమౌంట్ ఇప్పుడు మనీ ఉంది కదమ్మా, మనీ ఆల్రెడీ ఇన్నర్ క్లాసే కదా, ఇప్పుడు మనీకి ఇప్పుడు ఇన్నర్ క్లాస్ ఇస్తున్నావా?
అవును సార్. అంటే
మూడోదా
క్లాస్ ఈ సైడ్ ఇచ్చా కదా సార్, చైల్డ్ క్లాస్ ఇక్కడ క్రియేట్ చేస్తాను. ఓవర్ హెడ్ మెథడ్ చైల్డ్ క్లాస్ లో ఎక్స్ప్లోర్ అవుతుంది.
ఎనానిమస్ ఇన్నర్ క్లాస్ దేనికి?
మనీకి సార్.
మనీకా?
మనీకి సార్.
మనీకి ఎనానిమస్. మనీలో మెథడ్ ఉందా?
ఉంది సార్.
మనీ అని ఉందా?
ఉంది సార్.
రావాలి కదా.
ఎర్ర చూపిస్తుంది.
ఇప్పుడు ఆ క్లాస్ ఏంటి? స్టాటిక్ నాన్ స్టాటిక్?
నాన్ స్టాటిక్
మనీ
మరి నాన్ స్టాటిక్
స్టాటిక్ తీసుకో. ఇప్పుడు ఆబ్జెక్ట్ బేస్డ్ లో స్టాటిక్ ఉండాలి కదా. ఇది స్టాటిక్ మెంబర్ ఇన్నర్ క్లాస్ ఆబ్జెక్ట్ బేస్డ్ కదా.
అవును సార్.
న్యూ క్లాస్ నేమ్ డాట్ క్లాస్ నేమ్ అనేది స్టాటిక్ మెంబర్ ఇన్నర్ క్లాస్.
అంతే కదా అమ్మా. అదే నాన్ స్టాటిక్ అయితే ఆబ్జెక్ట్ నేమ్ వస్తుంది కదా మనీ అనేది స్టాటిక్ ఇన్నర్ క్లాస్
నాన్ స్టాటిక్ అయితే ఆబ్జెక్ట్ క్లాస్ పైన అవుటర్ క్లాస్ ఆబ్జెక్ట్ క్రియేట్ చేసి
ఉన్నాయి కదమ్మా ఆ స్పేస్ అయితే ల్యాప్టాప్ పడతా గీస్తున్నారు ఏదో స్కెచ్ గీస్తున్నారు కొత్త బ్యాచ్ స్కెచ్ లో గీస్తున్నారు స్కెచ్ రుణపడి ఉంటున్నాయి ఈ తిరగలేక ఇష్టం సాయంత్రం 6 గంటలకు కూడా తెప్పియండి 6 గంటలకు కొత్త బ్యాచ్ వద్దులే తక్కువ మంది 110 విన్నారా? అప్పుడే చెప్పకండి లేకపోతే చెప్పించు ఆ పేరు చెప్పు సార్కి వీళ్ళతో చూడమన్నారు సార్ తిడతాడు చెప్పరా చెప్తాడు ఆ, అక్కడ అంటాడు నీకు వచ్చిన సార్ నీకు నీ పేరు చెప్తా. అదే డ్రాబ్యాక్ సరే అరవింద్ గారు చెప్పాను నేను ఒకటే రెస్పాండ్ అవుతాడు లేదంటే మనోజ్ ఇద్దరే కోరుతాను చాలా కొత్త సరే ముందు వీలుండే నాగబాబు వీలుండే కానీ ఇప్పుడు అంతా సీనియర్లు అయిపోయింది నెక్స్ట్ ఇక మిగతా నాకు పేరు కూడా తెలియదు మొన్న సార్ అడుగుతున్నాడు